There were reports of hundreds of children missing in one major city. Truth or fiction? And what's the reality for children in Houston? That's one of our topics on this week's Houston Newsmakers. Also this morning, the BPMS 150 weekend is 4 weeks away with plans to raise millions to fight multiple sclerosis. We'll talk with a woman who knows firsthand about the challenges of MS and about what's being done to find a cure. And volunteers come in all forms and for many causes. We'll talk about some of those who will be celebrated on the upcoming Recognition for National Service. Right now on Houston Newsmakers.
From KPRC Channel 2, this is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
And good morning. We start this week's program with a focus on children. My guest is Emily Freeborn. She is a staff attorney with the Children at Risk organization. It's a nonpartisan and advocacy organization that is for more than 25 years has been on the front lines advocating on behalf of our children. That's a pretty good description, is it not?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So we have had this week, I asked her to come on because there were a number of stories out there this past week that were kind of eye-opening, beginning with the number of children who were missing in our nation's capital. That rose a flag with you as well. What was wrong with that story? A lot of fallacies about that.
Absolutely. There are a lot of inaccuracies being spread on social media about the number of missing children in D.C. And what actually happened is the D.C. Metro Police started posting their critical missing cases on their social media page. So it got a lot of attention, and people misinterpreted the statistics being reported from Washington, D.C. It was said that there were 14 girls missing in a 24-hour period, and that there were over 500 cases of missing girls or missing children in D.C. since the beginning of 2017.
Which certainly would have raised some pretty big red flags. But you said that information obviously was overblown, that the statistics were off. But it did kind of point a spotlight on the issue of missing children. They are an issue around the country, are they not?
Absolutely. Anytime you have a missing child, they're going to be more vulnerable to exploitation if they're out on the street. But what happened in D.C., they actually did have over 500 missing children's cases since the beginning of 2017, but many of those have been solved, and there are only 14 cases currently open right now.
So that's a really big difference. You gave me information about Harris County. It shows 57 cases of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But the Harris County Sheriff's Department shows 337 cases as runaways with one child missing, and to the untrained eye, I mean, that still seems like a lot, but is that about the right? I mean, for a city of our size, perhaps that is not too unreasonable in terms of the numbers as far as runaways are concerned? Yeah,
and it really depends on how you classify the missing or the runaways. So in Harris County, they separate the runaways from the missing, and actually, if a child 13 and over is reported as missing, it goes to a different hotline than the children 12 and under. That is reported through 911. So, but what we've seen with runaways is that generally teens will run away and return home after a short period of time. A lot of them voluntarily leave the home to go to friends' house or families' houses and then are reported as runaways, but they're not necessarily critically missing.
You have your organization, Children at Risk. It's a perfect name, really, for dealing with this kind of issue, children at risk. And we have all these children at risk. And that's especially true when it comes to homelessness. I mean, those children are really at risk as well. I was glad that you gave me some information on that. The national numbers, between 500,000 and 2.8 million. Texas with 100,000. Harris County leads the state with more than 18,000 youth considered homeless. That's a whole different category as well, is it not?
Absolutely. But when you talk about runaways, you also have to talk about homeless children and unaccompanied youth. And unaccompanied youth encompasses both runaways and those children that have been kicked out of the home or aren't welcome in the home, or just independent youth. And it's important to talk about that because you know, runaways have been reported, so there's someone out there looking for them. Homeless are just as vulnerable, but they don't have anyone necessarily out there looking for them.
And they create a whole different problem. That whole problem, that's at the foundation of their development. When you talk about youth or children, I I mean, that's a critical part of their lives, and if they're homeless or if they're lost, that reflects on the foundation, does it not? I mean, the families, what does the Children at Risk organization do to help parents and families try to solve this before it even becomes a problem?
Absolutely. So one of the main things we can do is better educate our parents. So we have a parenting program. We have information about parenting classes at our website, smartparents.org, and we try to advocate for services for vulnerable children, especially children that may be subject to human trafficking or things like that. Runaways and homeless children are highly vulnerable or more vulnerable than the general population to things like human trafficking as well.
There's a lot going on. Your organization is great at doing it. To you and the whole staff is fabulous in what you do and getting all the information that people need to know, because you're nonpartisan. You're just providing information and the research. Absolutely. If you want to get information about Children at Risk, the phone number is 713-869-7740. What was that website?
Smartparents.org.
Okay, there's another website for you as well. And their Children at Risk website is really amazingly easy. ChildrenAtRisk.org. Pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Emily Freeborn, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the work you guys do as well. Hey, coming up here, the MS 150, that is a huge event for Southeast Texas every year, and this year is no different. It raises money and awareness about the fight against multiple sclerosis. We'll do our part in the awareness category, what you should know and why you should care, next.